Now, Brian, closer to home, we need your take. You're a news guy about the Times Square incident, the construction accident. Very tragic. Everyone's talking about it here in the city.
Yeah, I think it gets all New Yorkers starting to think about their fate here in this city, because you really do go in the most bizarre ways here. When your number's up, it's up in such a huge way. For instance, I know of a guy who was hit on the head by an air conditioner that fell out of a window and split his skull open. He's now dead. I think that's a tragedy. When a cab jumps a curb, it doesn't just bump into you. It mows over 8 people and a baby, in the carriage, and the au pair and everything. It's very ugly.
Only in New York.
Imagine this woman, meticulous apartment, watching Sally, enjoying her day, thanking God she's alive. It's a beautiful morning, a little hot, but she's grateful because she has air conditioning. And she hears a creaking sound, thinking it might be the wind, or perhaps there's someone down the hallway or someone coming to knock on her door. But no, it's a giant crane coming through the ceiling that lands on her television and smashes her, makes her wander the carpet. That's a bummer. Again, tragedy in New York strikes in such a bizarre way.
It's like a cartoon. What happened to that lady?
It really is. It's the Far Side.
Yes.
You have the picture of the window and the crane falling outside.
Right. The whole angle of hearing the sound down the hall. Maybe she thought it was her grandson coming to visit her.
Did he needed that detail?
I've told him to be quiet so many times.
It's awful.
And no, it's a huge steel crane coming through the ceiling. Sometimes things drop from the ceilings here in New York, like roach larvae,
right.
or a light fixture or something. No, a giant crane is coming through the ceiling.
It's probably the heaviest thing that could have possibly fallen on her.
Oh, it's just a giant crane. There's that giant crane again. Gosh, I hate... We are a city on the brink. If Mayor Giuliani would like to do something about the quality of life, why can't he do something about those giant cranes? There's a start.
Very nice.
I heard on the news today, too, they'll be shoring it up with cables and a big mesh netting so nothing falls on more people. Next week's story, cable and mesh netting fall on 30 people.
Right.
Exactly.
I don't know. You want to stick around for more comedy here on the Opie and Anthony Show?
I'd listen to you guys. I think I dig you guys. You guys are great.
Oh, you're the guy.
I heard you once up in Boston.
You did hear us once in Boston.
Yeah,
very good.
You guys were great.
Yeah, we were. Let's relive old times.
Yeah, sure. Why
Remember
not?
that?
Now you're here in New York, the land of the cranes.
People think we suck.
Land of the cranes.
A giant train.
All right, boy, we need to be on Sunday morning at CBS. We'll listen to the sound of the cranes. And now, before we leave you, the sound of cranes coming through windows here in New York City. I'm Charles Kurowski. There's nothing like the sound of a crane coming through your ceiling. Oftentimes, these cranes elude us. Well, one of our videographers got this picture. Here's a crane coming through a ceiling. Thanks for being with us.
It's Opie, it's Anthony, and it's one of our pals from Comedy Central, Brian Unger, doing a fine job for us this afternoon.
Thank you.
From The Daily Show. From The Daily Show, yes. He's been talking to the listeners and giving them tips on how to stay cool because it's so hot out there.
That's right. Remember, put your feet on ice. It works in the wintertime. You know what I mean? It keeps you when you when you have your feet when they're cold, you can't stay warm.
Right.
Get it? So in the summer, if you put your feet on ice, you'll stay cool.
I've been checking the elderly. Just because they told me to on the news.
Have you been going door to door?
Check the elderly.
You got to check the elderly.
You are so kind.
It's easy to check at the Woodstock Hotel. You just look through that big hole in the roof.
Yeah, she had her feet on ice, too. Now her body's on ice.
That's right.
Horrible?
Yes.
Very tragic. But we're discussing news with Brian Unger because he does some news for The Daily Show.
Yes.
Carnival Cruise. What's your take on it?
Oh, I really, don't go on cruises. There you go. Do not go. I mean, I know that it's hard to stay away because of the buffets.
Right.
They say the food is so good.
Yes.
My mother went on a cruise, all right? She tells me that all they did was eat. They're like cattle. You get on the thing, you eat like a pig all day long. There's buffets in every room. In the gym, there's a buffet. You just hog out all day long. It's all you can eat.
But you know, you get to an age in your life that's the only thing you got in common with your parents: eating.
Eating.
You know, let's go eat.
Not a sorry situation.
Yeah, let's go to the MCL cafeteria, Mom and Dad. I love that place. Come on.
Well, you don't go over to just hang out. You go over to eat.
To eat, of course. So.
Isn't it a shame?
Yeah. What were you saying about the Carnival Cruise? They did a piece on 2020 or something.
Yeah. None of the people that work on them can speak English.
Right.
So people were saying, "My cabin is full of smoke. You want smoke? You want cigarette? What? No, my cabin full of smoke. Where's the life preservers?
I love the people who are already angling for the lawsuits.
You see them on the news?
You saw them on the news?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, you saw them, and the news is only so happy to get these people on TV.
Right.
You know, and you already have the very sympathetic-looking couple. They did not say anything to us about a fire. We were in our room. We were smelling smoke. We were eating at the buffet. We had no idea there was a fire. We're suing for $60 million at least. You know, I mean, like they're damaged.
Yeah, damaged because of a little smoke.
And then the folks who had the home video camera who were walking through the hallways,
right?
You know, collecting evidence.
Already.
You know, everybody is ready for a lawsuit at any time.
But that's what this country's all about now. Find someone you could sue.
Soak Carnival Cruise Lines.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. I love that stuff, man.
Then they give you a free cruise out of it, is what they do.
Yeah, well, those people are not going to take the free cruise.
I don't think so. I think they're going to opt for... I'm going to pass on the cruise and go for the $60 million. I'm going for the big one.
So do I. My polyester is ruined.
Now, I heard you were up for the Magic show, Brian. Why wouldn't you want to work with Magic Johnson?
You know, I passed up the honor. The work they're doing there is so good that I just didn't think of myself as worthy. Magic is funny. He's clever. He is the Grim that stole late night. And what's even funnier is his band. They're terrific, and I'm so moved and swayed by the only born-again Christian musician in late night.
Right, Sheila E. Right.
She's something.
Yes.
They're doing quite a program over there. So I decided to stay in my basic cable universe and ignore the big money. I just could. I mean, Magic literally, he put his hand out and said, "Grab a hold. I want to take you for a ride, Brian." And I said, "I just can't fly with you today. I've got a little show to do over here." I was up for the gig, and in the 11th hour, thank God.
You said no, huh?
Wow. You just said, no, thank you.
Right, you're like the guy that got bumped off the flight that went down.
Exactly. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, I like to think that I would have quit a week before the show.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
you would have
good.
had the sense to quit.
Yeah, see what's happening.
Yeah.
But you are working on something called When Animals Go on TV. Is this going to be on Comedy Central in September?
Yeah, that's coming. You know, we're promoting stuff a little early, but this is coming in September, and it is a parody, obviously, of the Fox genre, When Animals Attack.
Right. I love that.
But I've investigated some very compelling relationships between people and their pets. And it's really about anthropomorphism, the sort of humanizing of animals, and it's about people and their unhealthy relationships with their squirrels, their mules, their dogs, and their cats.
Could you give us an example that you have come across?
Well, one story that moved me because it was so provocative and really just kind of it symbolized our a national relationship with animals, was a woman in Ohio who befriended a little squirrel, and she brought it in, and she knitted clothes for it, and she made it a symbol for Romanian orphans, then the Ohio Department of Wildlife came to her house like a Waco raid to get the squirrel out because she was breaking the law, and she would not go. Over her dead body, they were going to get this damn squirrel. So I just paid a visit to her, and we talked to the little squirrel, and we watched it flop around in its little outfits that she'd knitted for it, and she talked about how they're going to have to kill her to get the squirrel. But the best part was her making the sounds that a squirrel makes when it wants to go to sleep, when it wants to eat. Have you ever seen a squirrel in your kitchen run up to a bowl, like a cat bowl, and start eating a nut?
Of course.
Yes, this is what's happening in the house. I said, "Where is the squirrel? Shouldn't it be hibernating right now?" And it's in the linen closet. Don't disturb it.
Oh, my God.
And the thing is a stinky, oily little rodent.
Right,
it's
right.
a pigeon with a tail.
Yes,
It's a rat.
Right.
And she's got this thing crawling all over her naked body and touching her mouth and all kinds of disgusting stuff. So, yeah, that's going to be on the show.
Cool. All right, we look forward to it in 2 or 3 months.
It's coming up next Christmas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How some animals made it so many thousands of years through evolution without human help. It just amazes me when you hear stories like that.
Yeah, you know.
How did squirrels not freeze before they had women to knit them nice little sweaters?
And if you see a squirrel in the street, go up and pet it. Stick your finger out and let it just chew on your finger. And wait till its teeth touch. That's when you know you've really bonded.
Brian Unger from Comedy Central. We got a song about hooch next. Stay there.